Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Economic Development. What steps will the government take to aid the recovery of the Canterbury region from the recent major earthquake?
The Honourable Cherry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, today the government, with the support of other parties in this House, will introduce the Canterbury Earthquake Response Recovery Bill. The legislation is needed urgently so that recovery work can continue seamlessly following the lifting of the state of emergency in Canterbury, expected later this week. Passing this bill will facilitate the Canterbury recovery by providing a mechanism which allows specific amendments to a range of legislation, avoiding any unnecessary slowdown to the recovery work that we now have ahead of us. This legislation is specifically for the recovery from the earthquake event. It's important that we move forward with considered haste to prevent further adverse effects on the people of Canterbury.
Nicky Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister of Economic Development, how will the Canterbury Earthquake Response and Recovery Bill work in practice?
The Honourable Cherry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, the Canterbury Earthquake Response and Recovery Bill enables the government to use orders in council to facilitate the recovery response. Those orders in council, of course, will be subject to normal parliamentary scrutiny as provided in standing orders. This allows the relaxation or suspension of provision enactments that may divert resources away from the effort to efficiently respond to the damage caused and the efforts to minimise further damage. It also allows the relaxation or suspension of enactments that may not be reasonably capable of being complied with due to earthquake damage. The Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Commission will link decision makers on the ground in Canterbury with decision makers in Wellington. Membership of the Commission will include the 3 mayors and ensure that the recovery is driven by the people of Canterbury.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Is he satisfied that he has the complete support of the 3 affected Canterbury mayors for the Canterbury Earthquake Response and Recovery Bill, given their statement on Radio New Zealand today that the lifting of the state of emergency in Canterbury will not happen if they are not satisfied with the legislation that he wishes to pass through the Parliament?
The Honourable Cherry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, I am confident that the 3 district mayors, who will of course be on the Commission, are satisfied with this. Over the weekend there has been discussions with their officers as well as officers representing government agencies. The work has been led by the Ministry for the Environment. PCO have worked tirelessly to get the bill together. A great deal of consideration has been given to how extensive the bill should be, and in the end we have a bill that I think will enable those mayors to constructively go about their reconstruction. I might take this opportunity to congratulate the 3 of them, Kelvin Coe, Ron Keating and Bob Parker, for the work that they've done in ensuring that they do have what's needed to get the job done.
Question number 6, the Honourable David Cunliffe.